G'day and welcome back to Australia's best classic mini YouTube channel. On this episode we are working back on the black Mosquito for the very last time to get it ready before it goes out the door to get tuned. So folks, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, let's have a quick chat about where we are with the black Mosquito and how far we've come. Well folks, to put in perspective, I've had this vehicle here for 18 months. Not only that, but my daughter is 19 months old. So I got this vehicle 2 weeks after she was born. It was in my possession and we started building it. That was back in 2023, and at the time of filming, it has now been 18 months or thereabouts in my possession. I originally thought this vehicle was going to take us approximately 6 to 10 months to build. If I'd spent probably 15 hours a week on it, I could probably have had it done earlier, but with family commitments, personal things that are happening, my mental health, a couple of things in the background that you guys don't know about just yet, we had to put this thing on hold, and it was on and off throughout the entire time. So as you can see, it does have the glass in it at the moment. We are just finishing up today. If you hear any noise in the background, that's just Apprentice Kev fixing his car, or at least attempting to. So each and every one of you who have subscribed to the channel, who has liked my videos, left me comments, both locally, nationally and internationally, I greatly appreciate all of your help. I've met so many people around the world who have been able to help me get this build back on the road and help guide me as to where things need to go when putting it back together. There's been so many questions and so many trials and tribulations in which we spent doing this car hours at night. The air conditioning, for instance, I probably spent a good 6 to 8 hours trying to fabricate brackets, came up with ideas. I got Josh around here who was drawing CAD drawings to work out brackets. It took us forever to work it out. Then the customer pulled the pin and said, no, don't worry about it, forget it, move on. Bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. So every single one of you who have helped, I can't remember everyone's name, but everyone around the world who has reached out, helped me with this, I greatly appreciate, especially Apprentice Kev. He has put some serious hours in this. We've spent probably at least 150 hours on this, if not more, building this car, and it has been one monumental build. On that note, it's been a monumental build. I also dubbed the very first episode of this Binky 2.0. Now, I only did that to get likes. I didn't do it to deter anyone from the actual Binky project. I did not mean to take away anything from Binky, nor is it used to slander their name. It was simply a little bit of catfishing. I put something out there to see if I can get a reaction, and I did. There's probably at least half a dozen people, if not a dozen people, who have hit the thumbs down button. I've got messages from people saying that they're trying to get me off the air. They are going out there and making sure that no one ever watches my videos. They're going to boycott my channel, but yet here we are today. You're still watching the video. I'm still getting likes and views. So my apologies, I did not mean anything by that whatsoever. It was simply tongue-in-cheek, and you just need to have taken it by a grain of salt, and that's what us larrikins do down under. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's get this thing out the door so we can move on to Grace. All right, so this episode is proudly sponsored by Minisport as well as Mr. Beans. If you haven't already, check him out. He's my #1 local supplier of coffee down under. So this episode, we are just going to be doing some finishing touches and primarily focusing on the ride height of a vehicle. This is going to be something that we need to make sure we set up, because it is important to get the ride height set. Whether you are raising or lowering a vehicle, you then need a wheel alignment to suit. Every single time you do any suspension modifications, repairs or adjustments, you do need to get another alignment. So first thing we're going to be doing is measuring with a tape measure from the center of the hub to the guard. This one, for instance, is 305 millimeters, and we're going to be comparing that to the standard specifications. It is important to make sure that you measure from the center of the hub to the guard, or the bottom of the rim to the guard. These measurements, when the car is stationary, are never going to change. So long as it is on all fours, that measurement will always remain the same. If you try and measure from the floor to the guard, that measurement is going to change depending on how much pressure's in the tire, how much tread's in the tire. There are a lot of variables. If you do it from a fixed location, that measurement is never going to change. So before we jack it up, we do need to check the rear ride height on the driver's side. So this one here is 310 mil. Factory ride height at the rear on a classic Mini is approximately 333 millimeters, plus or minus 6 to 8 mil from memory. So let's jack it up and adjust the ride height. Make sure as well, when you're jacking up the classic Mini, you jack it up off the subframe. Now I like to use rubber blocks between the subframe and the jack stand to ensure that you don't damage it whatsoever. If you don't have a rubber block, you can just use simply a piece of timber. Once they're both in position, lower the vehicle down, safely remove the jack. Now we're going to remove the wheels. So before we go any further, we do need to make sure that we check the droop. The droop is the full range of motion in which the suspension is going to travel. So in this case, this is going to be droop when it is on jack stands. Now, it's done the exact same way. Middle of hub to guard, we're at 390. Now, this will also help determine what measurements result in adjustment here to what adjustment goes to here. For instance, at the front, it is a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 millimeters moved on the trumpet results in 1 millimeter moved on the hub to guard. And driver's side is just a fraction shy of 390 as well. Alright, so this adjustment is going to be the easier one, so we're going to start with this first. We're going to loosen the locking nut, so this large nut just here. We're then going to adjust the smaller nut, which is this one just here. So in our case, we want to be making it longer, so we want to be turning it anti-clockwise. Now it's important as well to make sure that the trumpet doesn't move when you're making these adjustments, otherwise it's not going to adjust it correctly. Now once you've made your adjustment, you're going to come back here, grab the tape measure again, and then re-measure the hub to guard. Now you'll find this arm under full flexion will have the exact same hub to guard measurement after your adjustments. The reason for that is it is under full extension on the arm, and therefore there is no load but maximum droop on the suspension. You can do this one of two ways. One is you can adjust the adjuster at the end, and you can measure how many threads, for instance, are exposed between the locking nut and the adjustment nut. Or you can count how many flats you turn on the adjuster. Once you've done that, do the same measurement on both sides, or the same adjustment. Refit the wheels, lower it down, do your hub to guard measurements, and then you'll find it will adjust it to a different height. So once you're happy with the ride height, jack the vehicle back up, remove the stands, lower on the ground, and let's re-inspect it. So Tomo's tech tip here is, before you do anything else, give the car a bit of a shimmy. Make sure that the suspension has settled in the back end. That way when you do your hub to guard measurements, it's going to be as accurate as possible. Now currently as that sits, this car is completely level. You always want a little bit of rake on the vehicle, which means the nose needs to face down a little bit and the back facing up. The reason for that is drivability, stability and braking. If all the weight is over the front end and it is lowered, when you go to hit the brakes, it's going to want to push the inertia down and therefore apply the brakes and be accurately steering and applying the brakes to come to a complete safe stop. If you don't, you'll find that the vehicle will struggle to slow down, stop, it'll handle bad. There's a series of things that it'll do. So the whole Cali lean, forget it. Make sure you have that little bit of rake. Alright, so I've gone and readjusted them. I only turned it probably another 10 flat, so it's like nearly 2 full turns of the adjuster. I've brought it back down. It's now measuring at just over 330 millimeters, which is pretty much on target with where we want to be. The front is set to 320, so there's about a 10 to 12 mil difference between front and rear, which is good. Decent amount of rake. I have raised the driver's side up a little bit higher, simply because you got to remember you're always going to be in the car driving, so therefore that driver's side is always going to sag before any of the other parts of the suspension. So now that we've done that, there's a few interior stuff things that I want to go through and do. I'll do that off camera. I don't want to bore you guys. Kev's going to come around tomorrow night and help me wire up the sub. Other than that, there's a few little things that I'm just going to show you guys when it's daylight. So let's cut to commercial and we'll see you on the other side.
G'day folks, Tomo here from Tomo's Tune-Ups. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button to my channel. Not only will you be kept informed as to when I release new videos, but also it helps to grow my channel, my analytics, and most importantly, recommend videos to yourself and new subscribers.
Alright folks, so in one of my last videos on the Black Mosquito, I was asked to have a look around the Black Mozzie. We've got Kev's car just beside me here, and we've got Grace as well, which, well, she is undergoing a bit of love at the moment. You guys will see a bit later on. There is the old engine. Now, this is the final chapter of this episode. So we're going to quickly run around it. We're going to do another episode as well when the vehicle is back on the road, running, tuned, detailed. We're going to do a full walk around, but this is going to be a brief tutorial. Yes, I just got out of the swimming pool with my daughter from swimming lessons, so I am in a completely different change of clothes. So let's go have a look at this beauty in which we have built. So this is a 1988 Rover Mini. Originally it was from Japan. As you can see, there is stuff on the roof, and that is all the customers. I did not do any of that. Please do not take that against anything I've done. He's obviously laid that mat down to stop it scratching. So it came from Japan, and then it went to the UK for a little bit, and then it got imported to Australia. So he has gone and customized the entirety of this vehicle, including de-seaming the rear end, making these panels at the back here, these diffusers, a twin exhaust setup. He's also converted it from the Clubman rectangular style tail lights to the original factory style oval tail lights, in which apprentice Kev's car has fitted out the front. He's gone with the twin tank setup as well. He drilled that hole himself. Sorry, that hole, should I say. It also has a heated rear windscreen, which you can kind of see those marks. This side is connected, this side isn't, only because it needs to be resoldered. He has gone with a subwoofer setup, fully sick, bro. That just up there. I need to wire that in, which I'm going to do off camera. It's got an electric fuel pump as well. It sits down underneath there. A yellow top battery for optimum life and sustainability. He's running 13x7-inch wheels, in which he had those originally fitted to it when he had the vehicle on the road. Side indicators, these are somehow off a VX Commodore. So not sure where these came from, but they were the original style that was on there. I searched high and low for them, which you may have seen on one of my previous posts on Instagram. Took me forever to try and work out what they were. Josh came over one day and said, they're off a Commodore. I was like, what are you on about? Got them, and they literally just fit straight in there. So awesome. What else do we have? Mirrors just down here off a XY Falcon, I believe they are. Someone please comment in the section below if I'm wrong about that. Gives it a really sleek and crisp design. The original Sport Pack arches, I believe. So as you can see, it just looks absolutely fat and mean. He's blacked out the badge at the front as well. He's trying to go with minimal chrome work and a little bit of black on components. So he's gone with the black grille and then the chrome around the outside. Now, as you can see, that housing is missing there. I just took it off last night because I was gluing a couple of things and redoing it. The headlights I restored a bit better than what they were. On a previous episode, you may have noticed that they were quite cloudy. It is much better now. So it does sit obviously quite low to the ground. We've got the heights adjusted as per factory specifications. Let's pop the bonnet and have a look at the U-Butte engine setup we've got here. So there is a couple of things in which I haven't finished off just yet. So I'm just holding the bonnet one-handed, so I'm not going to bother putting up the bonnet prop. So it's running, as I said before, a Jet Motors turbo setup, which you can see this is one of the first iterations of the kit in which they supplied to Australia. It is not the first kit in Australia. I do actually know the first guy that owned the first Jet Motors kit that came to Australia. The engine is painted in DeWalt yellow. We do need to go and touch up some of the paint because it's flaking off from where we've had to take the engine out and whatnot. Really, that's pretty much it. It's a 1310. It's got flat top Omega pistons. So it's 40 thou over from standard, MED roller rockers. It's got an oil catch can there as well, which we've plumbed in, and that's just to help reduce emissions and save all the oil going back through the engine. He's got the solid mounted radiator on the inner wing. Adjustable fuel pressure regulator just mounted there. Yes, there is some wiring that I've been playing with just to try and work out what's happening with it. So disregard that, I'll clean that up in the future. Fuel pressure gauge, in which reads the fuel pressure, and that is adjustable as well via that screw at the top. That's pretty much it. It's a blow through, I believe, 1 3/4 HS6 carburetor. Pretty straightforward, really. Let's have a look at the interior. Now, you can't actually see. I'll just go around and I'll grab the torch so you guys can properly see it, because at the moment it is mega dark in there. So as you've seen before in previous episodes, it has the Audi TT bucket seats. He also has the rear seats just up on the top there. He's actually cut them to size, so it's actually going to fit really well, and it is quite snug in there in the back of the vehicle. So in the back, you can't actually see, obviously they're not fit at the moment, but once it's in there, it does give quite a lot of room, and anyone that owns a classic Mini will know how much little room there is in the back seat. These seats actually give a little bit more, probably because they took out a bit of cushioning. I do need to readjust the steering wheel position because currently that is straight ahead, but as you can see, it is turned to the left. He's run with the custom dash setup, so he's run the vents through there. We have an oil pressure gauge, we have the AFR gauge on the left hand side of the steering wheel, which actually is out of whack at the moment, only because I gave it a couple of revs when I first started up and it jumped all the way around. So once it gets tuned, you'll find that will read the correct adjustments. We also have a boost gauge and a 9-inch display radio. It's got the cutout for the glove box there as well. We have the aerial and whatnot in there. The demister, everything works, and we have a custom switch panel down here. So we have headlights, this one here. I'll just turn that off to the side so you can see. So headlights is blue. Next one is rear demister, which is green. And we also have the hazard lights as well. And then this one is just blank, that's just a red one, so we can adjust that to whatever he wants down the track. Custom cup holder setup as well, triple gauges. This car's actually got 195,568 kilometers on it, which is actually quite interesting considering how old the car is, but also probably one of the actual vehicles I've seen with the standard Ks on it from factory. As you know, a lot of them only go to 99999 kilometers or miles, and then after that they tick over. So it's good to be able to see that this car's actually done, you know, just shy of 200,000 kilometers. As I said before, this has been one hell of a build, and I can't believe I've actually done it. I've actually spent 18 months of my life building this vehicle, helping the customer get it back on the road. There's a few extra things that we're going to go through and do off camera. He's going to go take it tuned to get tuned in 2 days from now from filming. It's going to be Tuesday the 3rd of June, in which he's going to get it tuned. After that, he's going to go get a blue slip, so he's going to get on the road. He's going to put some miles on, and hopefully you'll see it at the Rolston Classic for 2025. If you do, make sure you come have a look at this thing. It is an absolute weapon, and I'm super glad to have been a part of this, and really thankful to the customer for allowing me and trusting me to be able to put the faith in me to be able to get this done to the best of my ability, and also produce content for my channel. It has been a whirlwind. We've had dramas, dilemmas, we've had issues, we've had setbacks, but now we're here. Now we are here at the conclusion. To everyone around the world, both locally, internationally, and throughout the nation of Australia, thank you very much for not only tuning in and being a part of it, but also supplying me with some of the information needed in which I was unsure of to be able to get this thing on the road. It has been a great build, and I really enjoyed every single minute of it. Up next, we've got Grace. We need to get her back on the road for the Rolston Classic for 2025. We've got the 1310 as well over there, just on the engine stand, which we're going to be building and putting into a 998. We've got Kev's car, which we are doing in the background. And then we have the Mark III Mini coming back as well for a couple of extra things before that hits Rolston. So, like always, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you who have watched every single one of these videos. It has been one hell of a ride to this point. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups.